All right, guys, we are now at day 5 of Space Team's Mission Oz. How's everybody feeling? What's been your favorite part of Mission Oz so far? Tell us in the comments. We have another amazing day ahead, but of course, we got some guests to kick off today. We do want to look back at some of your submissions from yesterday. Seen some really cool stuff. Y'all been flying that spacecraft, so we're excited to kind of check it out. But first, tell us what your favorite part has been, Space Team so far. We know we can always rely on Clifford. What's he saying in the comments?
Clifford's still cold, but the good news is meeting lots of new people.
I love it. I agree. I feel like it's been so fun with all these different guests and experts coming on, and then all the students getting to hear from you, your favorite foods, things you like to do. And we have a question for you today to get to know you guys a little bit better. What sports do you play? And if you don't play sports, what sports do you enjoy watching? So, Christine, I'm going to ask you, are you a sports person?
I am a sports person. I like to play sports, and I really love to cheer loudly at sports, especially my son's soccer games. I like to get up and run down the sidelines.
You're like the crazy soccer mom.
Total crazy soccer mom. I love it. What about you, Natasha? Are you an athlete?
No. No. I had a time when I was like really into basketball. I loved playing basketball, and then I played soccer for a little bit, but I kind of just like gave that all up. But now my daughter loves basketball, so I do enjoy watching her. She's only 4, so there's not much there. It's mostly just like throwing a ball, but she's figuring it out. So let us know in the comments. I already see some answers, and I know we are in different countries. So the sports might be different. So like football is American football is when I say it, but I know that's soccer in a lot of places.
Yes, we've got a lot of good answers going on here tonight. We've got basketball, rugby, which is super interesting, soccer, footy, which is maybe soccer or football.
Sounds like soccer.
We've even got fencing and cricket. So a huge variety on the sports question tonight.
Well, while you're bringing us in more answers, let's watch a little video of what sports they play in space. Check this out.
Set them up and they would run it remotely. Occasionally, when the shuttle crew comes up, they like to have a down day for recreation. Here's Clay playing baseball, and he's going to run around the bases. There he goes. He's going to run. He's going to run. There he goes. And this ball actually made it to the World Cup, and Suichi and Naoko were demonstrating weightless soccer.
I wish we could hear their like reactions. He's like cheering the astronaut. But Christy, we got our answer on what footy is. Did you see that?
I did see that. Thanks for the clarification there. Australian rugby.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to bring this one up. Kangaroo racing. Is that like really a thing, Nicole? Because that sounds amazing, and I think I want some video proof of this.
You don't ride the kangaroo though.
I wasn't imagining that, but maybe you do. Okay, Nicole, the answers. All right, so let me go to my next slide here. Okay, so that was sports. Is there anything else you do for fun? Tell us in the comments. And while you guys are responding, I'm going to go ahead and play this next video of some fun adventures astronauts have had in space.
This is air traffic control. You are cleared for takeoff.
All right. I just love that video and all the cool stuff they do in space. But I was also highly distracted by the comments because I think all the Australian teams are totally messing with us.
I don't think kangaroo racing is real at all.
So yeah, we're getting some fun comments here, and they're also talking about climbing trees with koalas. I love it, guys. This is how you mess with the American host here. All right, but you guys have some great hobbies. I love kind of hearing all this different stuff from swimming to cricket to walking my dog. I love that. So keep telling us in the comments what you do for fun, and we're now going to move on to this next page here. If it lets me. Here we go. Okay, so for today, I do have one very important announcement. Please get your mission patch submitted for your team, a team photo, just real casual, just use your cell phone, and a video. It doesn't have to be a fancy production. We're actually going to show you one of the team videos that was submitted as an example. And we would really like to get those by the end of today. So before we get the expert presentation, if you could try to work on those today. So that's our announcement. And before we bring on our mission expert, we have a special guest that's going to join us. And let me bring him on right now. Hello, welcome, Dr. Urban. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Well, before I ask you some questions, let me tell the students who you are. So you're the director of the Texas Space Grant, one of the nationwide state consortia that promotes space and STEM programs and funding to students through NASA's Office of STEM Engagement. You earned your PhD at the University of Texas Austin Aerospace Engineering and have expertise in satellite and remote sensing. Welcome to Space Teams. And so my first question is, can you just tell me more about your work with the Texas Space Grant?
Absolutely. Yeah. So as you said, Space Grant is one of NASA's education and outreach efforts. There is a Space Grant in every one of the US states, plus Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico. And we have efforts, a lot of them at the college level for undergraduate and graduate students, but we do support programs like Space Teams for middle and high school students.
Well, thank you for supporting Space Teams. And following with that is, what do you think is the most valuable part of Space Teams and spacecraft software for students?
I love the fact that the software lets students test things. They get to put it together, and then they can try again, start from scratch if they want to, or just play with it until it works. It's not a directive. You have to go from A to B. You get to have fun with it, play with it.
And the mission that they just completed was exactly that. It was trial and error. They were piloting their spacecraft, and we're going to talk with our expert today, but that was a huge part, is you don't just go once and you're done. it's going again and again. And a lot of the students here are very interested in space and space exploration. So do you have any advice or message for those students?
So whatever your interest is, whether it's engineering, whether it's art, whether it's medicine, if you have an interest in space, you can work in space. Just be the best you can at whatever you like to do, and there's a place for you in space.
I'm going to ask a bonus question, if that's okay.
Sure.
How did you find that interest in space?
I let's see. So I was born right when right after Apollo 11 landed on the moon. So I grew up at the end of the Apollo era. But I loved seeing all the astronauts in the magazines, and then the Voyager spacecraft started leaving the solar system. I just got more and more into space and became an aerospace engineer. You don't have to be an aerospace engineer to work in space, but I am.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I find that everyone we've talked to has had very different journeys, but kind of following the latest in space exploration has been this theme of that's what excites people and gets them inspired to pursue it. So, and now the students in space teams are part of that. They're preparing and they're using tools that reflect like the real kind of missions that NASA and others do.
Yeah, this is exciting because space teams puts the students in the position of exploring space. It's something I wish I had when I was a student. I love the program, and good luck to all the teams.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us. All right. Okay, so Christy, next up, before we bring our guest, I do have one more note. Yesterday, we had brought someone from Terran Space Academy, right? And I know you got to talk with him, and I just wanted to emphasize that they have this really awesome YouTube channel right there. We can link it in the comments, but I recommend you check it out if you're interested in space, which I know a lot of the students here in space teams are. So definitely check it out. But with that, I would like to bring on Colton. Welcome. How's it going?
Pretty great. Good to be back.
Yeah, you're in a different location.
I am. I am in the spacecraft offices right now instead of at my
Ooh.
house.
Mission Control headquarters. All the fancy stuff happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I have for you today is I'm going to show off what some of the students worked on.
Okay.
Let me bring it up. Nope, that's me. Here we go.
Okay.
Check it out.
Also, those are some good scores. And
I
I like
thought so, right?
the one in the bottom left. You can see he is throwing his thrusters, into his velocity vector, which is good. That's how you slow down, which is really important for the activity.
It's a good tip. Here's one more.
That's so cool.
And I know one of the things you said before is this is like practice, right? Kind of doing it over and over again.
Oh yeah, you can't expect like a perfect first try. I think the first time I didn't get I think I crashed. So
Hey, so see an engineer doing it crash the first time. So I don't think the students should feel bad. They just keep going, try again. Yeah. All right. And so then I have this is separate from spacecraft, but one of the special awards that the students are submitting is a team video. So I would love to play that for you guys.
Hey, when the technologists will go, with the Stella Solutions, with Space Bunnies, where the little dip is.
On day one of the challenge, we used the spacecraft Planet Stimulator to build our very own alien planet. We learned a great deal about what makes a planet habitable and decided to do the very opposite when creating the Vulcan, a frozen wasteland with a crushing force of gravity. One of our favorite parts from this day was being able to interact with the new program and being able to design our own unique planets by using different elements and viewpoints.
As a team, we worked together using our collaboration skills to find a solution to designing an effective spacecraft. We were able to share our opinions and ideas in order to gain the highest possible score in the competition. One of our favorite activities of the day was being able to navigate through the program and get a real sense of how spacecraft is essentially built and operated.
On day 3, we were able to discuss as a team and use our problem-solving skills to work our way to planet Vulcan. It was difficult at first to find out how to reach Vulcan using the Keplerian elements such as the semi-major axis, the eccentricity, the inclination, and the argument periapsis. We were able to overcome this struggle through experimentation and collaborating ideas to test a range of elements.
What'd you think?
That was so great. I love that so much.
I love seeing the videos to be able to put faces to the participants. Like, it's really fun for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, y'all did awesome, and I hope that encourages more teams. It doesn't have to be like a fancy production. Y'all did amazing with that team video because it included your personality, but we got to know your experience and what you thought as you've been going through space teams. And I see the students are very excited in the chat, and also you got a yay. I believe this is Colton. Yay, Colton's back. So Colton, I know you now have a trivia question for the students, right?
I do.
I got it for you.
Okay, cool. It's on there. So how fast was the space shuttle going when it would re-enter Earth's atmosphere? Obviously, this isn't an exact number because it would be traveling at slightly different speeds every time. But what's a rough estimate of how fast it would be going?
Just get close-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have the number in miles per hour and also kilometers per hour. So
That's
whichever y'all prefer.
And Colton, what's your degree in? What are you studying?
Aerospace engineering.
Have you had any like crazy hard exams?
I actually took an exam earlier today.
What
yeah.
class?
How you feeling?
It was called the class is Design of Human Experiments. There's a lot of statistics stuff that go into it. It wasn't bad. Nobody in the class finished. It was a little long. But I feel like I did decent compared to the average. So
Yeah, because I remember undergrad is just like exam after exam. This is the midterm time of the year.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're getting some responses. How are they doing?
Okay, looking
they all
pretty
have
good.
the same answer.
No.
They're either just following what Grant said. But is this the right unit?
Not quite. So miles is just distance. To actually get, a unit of speed, you have to do distance per time.
There we go.
So yeah, that is the correct unit.
Okay. Yeah,
So should I tell them?
Yes.
So yes, y'all are right. It is 17,000 miles per hour, which is just crazy fast. And that's why when the space shuttle hit, the Earth's atmosphere, it would catch on fire because it was going so fast that all the friction between the air that it was now meeting just made so much heat that it would just, make this big cloak of like fire and plasma on the bottom of it.
They must have been listening. I think our guest speaker actually mentioned that number last night because I
okay
too. So they were paying attention.
Mm-hmm. Glad
That's
y'all were.
awesome.
Yeah.
Great job, guys. Okay, so and it's crazy fast as the other comment. That's all you need to know.
Also right.
Yeah. Okay, Colton. Well, before we let you go, do you have any like advice or thoughts for these students as they're kind of wrapping up here their space team's missions the last few days?
So for the lander activity, again, like just practice makes perfect. You're not going to get perfect the first time, but just, keep doing it. You'll learn kind of the little fine adjustments you need to do to actually get a good score. The next two activities are honestly two of the best ones as well. So those are things to look forward to. And pretty much just like keep going at it, keep updating your designs to make them better. And you'll see that you can do it. You can get like a really good score in every single activity.
That's awesome. Well, now I know they're excited. So let me say goodbye to you, Colton, and we're going to bring on Jasleen. Welcome. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Are you here?
Yeah,
Let me make sure Colton's muted. Okay. Go ahead, Christy. Hand it off to you.
Sorry. Jasleen, thank you for being with us. Are you ready?
yes, I'm ready. Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
It's our joy. Thank you for being with us. This is your first time here, and we want to know more about you. So, what is your field of study, and what are you hoping to do with your education?
Sure. So I currently started my PhD at Texas A&M University in aerospace engineering. I have a background in aerospace engineering as well as a space architecture with my master's. And what I'm hoping to do with this degree is I'm specializing more towards like the space operations, building space habitats on the lunar surfaces, Martian surfaces, and basically work with the mission control to help the astronauts.
Wonderful. We've
Yeah.
had a guest speaker in the past who did just that. Really neat. Built the habitats.
Yeah.
What was your role in developing spacecraft?
So as I just mentioned that my specialty is in building the habitats. So I am helping in developing a um, artificial gravity habitat for the spacecraft so that we can test the Coriolis effect and how it feels to be in artificial gravity and experience various type of gravity like the Martian gravity, lunar gravity at that stage. So that will help for the deep space missions.
Wonderful. And is that your favorite part, or
That is my favorite part. Yeah, because it's so fascinating to see that the mechanism is same like building a spacecraft, but now in the spacecraft you're making a space for people or the astronauts to live in and also to live in for a longer duration and to see what all accommodations you can make it for them so that they feel like home. So that's my favorite part.
I love hearing the answers of each of you that have worked so hard on this to know if there's if that hard work has been so rewarding that you just want to keep doing it, or if you enjoy uh, a little more something that you haven't had to put as much work into. So it's great that you love that so much. What is
Thank you.
today's mission?
Well, today's mission is something related to my interest. So we will be building an habitat. So where in this activity, I will be showing you a video like with a few slides where I will be telling you what needs to be done. And in this activity, you guys will be will building an habitat with various different units where you will be making sure that your unit is able to sustain on the surface for a longer duration. Uh, that means that what all resources you will be taking with you and also the resources you will be actually collecting at the surface, how you manage those things to get the highest score. The more is the score, that means your habitat is more sustainable for the astronauts to live there for longer. So that's what the activity is for today.
And whenever you're ready, we can share your screen.
Sure. Yes, I'm ready.
And you can pull up your presentation and I'll add it.
Yeah.
There we go. I see it. Great.
Okay. So once you get into the spacecraft and go to the Habitat Builder module, over there you will have these bunch of options over here, building a new assembly, saving like how to save that assembly, loading that assembly. And before we start this activity, I would really recommend everyone to do the lesson that has been provided and also to take the ISRU quiz so that you can get your certificates as well. So the video and the lessons that we have provided that will help you to go over all these different tools to understand what you will be using and how you will be actually importing the various parts. So for the habitat module, it's like these all these things you're taking from the earth to the lunar surface. So when you're taking these or the Martian surface, so when you're taking these different modules with you, you are making sure that there's a enough amount of mass you can carry with you, certain amount of mass. And once that mass is there, then you will be start building the other things alongside. So you first start with placing the one module and then construct the whole base around it by making sure that you add a garage to it for to place your rover inside, and for the whole supply. Make sure you place the green hub for your food and other basic needs. uh, and also you see over here, when you click on the first tool here, it will gives you all these various modules that you can start placing there. The multi-purpose module has a various racks where you can put your eclipse system or the power system or any storages over there, these kind of things. And also the crew quarters where the astronauts will be sleeping, so those kind of things. So based on your requirement, you can use these modules. Also make sure that you don't use a bunch of modules, because you have to make sure that that there is only limited amount of mass that should be there, because the enough so that you can have enough power to provide. Because if you put a lot of things there, and end of the day you will run out of your power or your supplies. The next thing is to do so, the next thing is definitely make sure to have a greenhouse there, where you can grow the plants for your food for the astronauts for their stay, number of days they are staying there. And also helps with like providing like oxygen generators and scrubs, etc. And then with the multi-purpose unit, you can start putting your racks and all these various units, life support system, the oxygen generators, as well as your other power supplies inside. And so once that is done, then once the internal things are done, then you start building it around the whole base by providing the solar panels, power, and how the each unit is connected to all these different units, by adding water racks, batteries, etc., to make the habitat become more sustainable. So the key thing over here is to remember that you can just think whichever is the important resources to bring in this today's activity, because in tomorrow's activity you will be collecting the resources from the local resources. So that will help you to like with the power and the like the minerals and the power. But for today, the things that you cannot make there, such as like food and all that, you have to think how you can maximize that mass. So focus on those areas that will help you to build your score higher. And also understanding of what all is needed for the astronauts to stay there for a maximum duration, by keeping at that mind. So if you add a bunch of units right away to your habitat, maybe your habitat will look very fancy, but at the same time, with too much mass into it, you will not be able to carry that in this with this spacecraft. So the total score will go low. So to keep your total score high, you have to make sure that you are choosing the modules very effectively.
Awesome.
So I think that's all I have for my presentation today.
Super helpful. Thank you so much. And so if they watch the videos and they check out the lessons, there was lots of good tips and tricks in your presentation. What else can they do to be successful in today's mission?
Uh, again, like making sure that you are, like I mentioned, that just keeping in mind that all these modules, you're like all these modules and the mass that you're carrying from here has to be taken with the by the spacecraft. So if your spacecraft is can carry a certain amount of a payload, and if you add a bunch of things there, the space c- you your spacecraft score is going to go low. So making sure you are adding what is needed to sustain there for longer. That's the key there, basically.
Efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. Okay, last question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What's something you do for fun?
Oh, that's a good question. So, I love scuba diving, and that's what I do a lot. Whenever I get a time, I go for my scuba dives. And I just moved here recently and haven't started doing it yet, but I'm looking for that time.
Great. Colton can show you where to go. He likes to scuba too.
That's what I remember.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I will definitely check with him.
Jasleen, thank you so much.
You're
All right,
welcome.
and we are excited to bring you back again tomorrow to show off these habitats. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Sounds good.
Okay, so do you know what time it is, Christy?
Swag time!
Okay, so before I pull up our wheel of all the participants who completed their daily reflection, so they get to be in this awesome wheel, we do have an announcement. So right now, Spacecraft, they are rebooting the server. So the activities are not currently available. It's going to be quick though. So we encourage everyone to first start, as you should be anyway, in the learning platform, doing the lesson, the quiz, and the tutorial, and then it will be back. And then I literally just got a message that it has now been rebooted. So it was that fast in the 3 seconds that I said the announcement. Great. All right. Never mind. Cancel that. Let's give away some stuff.
I'm ready.
See who wins this time.
Norvin Sadique. I think I said that close.
Yeah, congratulations. You get some Space Teams swag. Okay, and I do see your question here. We'll ask our mission expert tomorrow. There was a question about, do we have to become vegetarian? Since she was talking about growing plants. So we'll get to that one when we bring Jasleen on tomorrow. But for now, we want to send you off to day 5. Best of luck, and we'll see you in a couple hours for our expert presentation with a space architect. Bye-bye.